Hello, hello, hello. Hola, hola, hola. Who is it? Me. And who is me? Really? Who are we all in this lovely infinite universe? My name is Eunice Roman, and welcome to This Is Your Spotlight. Today I have a very special guest. If you don't know him and you slept under a rock, and I told you, stay off that park bench at night, y'all. Don't go running. It's not for everybody. Run only if you're being chased. And in this case, that's not it. His name is Ramon Pesante. He has a great movie called Playing Sam. Welcome to the show. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you. No, listen, I'm always like honored that someone's interested in even just talking to me or talking to about my films, and I'm always excited to just jump on the mic and just speak to meet someone new and and potentially reach out to new people and catch their interest.
No, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know what Playing Sam is about, it's it's kind of like a love letter to the industry,
Mm.
but it's from somebody who has gone through the industry. We're talking about the film industry. And yes, rejection is nobody's friend in this thing, to be honest with you. In general, nobody likes to
But it's
hear no,
necessary.
nobody likes to hear, oh, you know, if you did this or if you talk like this, if you acted like this, maybe people will, you'll make yourself different from everybody else and you'll get that yes. And it's like, how much yeses do you need before you realize, you know what? Nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. So I've done enough talking. Go ahead, Ramon, please. I'll be quiet now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Oh no, 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 please. No, this is your show. You kidding me?
ahead. And
Yeah. No, the film is, yeah, you're very much right. But I wouldn't say it's a love letter to the industry. It's a love letter to New York Latino artists and actors. You know what I
exactly.
mean? And it's a warning to entertainment industry, honestly,
Oof.
because and it's just this is not. I'm not singing a new song here. This is it's something that this drum is being beaten by many of my predecessors, Danny Hastings, Calixto, about how like Latino artists and filmmakers, we are here, and we make up a large portion of, you know, your income. And it seems that the only Latinos that you are interested in are a very small margin that fit in your small perspective of us, when we've come in very different shapes, sizes, ethnicities, and backgrounds. Like, I think the one thing that bothers me most is that to Hollywood, Latinos are just Mexicans and Cubans, you know? And yeah, and it's just like, wait a minute. No, there's Puerto Ricans, there's Dominicans. Yeah, Puerto Ricans, yeah, we're kind of in there. Thanks, J Lo. Right, but it's like there's more to it us than that. We're Ecuadorians, we're Colombians, we're Guatemalans, we're Peruvians, and, Nicaragua. These are all different, and then what's interesting is they all have different types of stories and backgrounds and things that can be explored. But, like an American Ecuadorian from the Bronx or from Brooklyn in New York, they have a very specific perspective, right? I'm not speaking for them, but I'm just saying they're like a small group amongst Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Black people, and they're here and they're amongst us, and in times they feel they have a very unique perspective. You know what I mean? Amongst Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and Black people, and white people, and then they're a very unique group of people. Why don't they tap into those? There's Ecuadorian artists and Ecuadorian writers and Ecuadorian actors. So it's just like there's so many different, and that's just one group, one type of Latino. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, in my mind, I wish the industry would, instead of just tapping into what they know, which is Mexicans and some Cubans, tap into the other groups, because there are rich stories in there that no one has touched yet that are relatable.
Yeah, I think it's due to like the colorism Honestly, there's a lot of colorism in the industry, and it goes back to all the way it's upon its creation, which is
Well,
really like,
I don't think it's colorism. I think the people that make decisions, right,
mhm,
are
mhm.
green lighting things that they know. So
Of
if a
course, it's a
California
comfort thing too.
executive, right, if a California executive
Uh-huh.
green lights a show about Mexicans, it's probably because they grew up around Mexicans in LA, right? But
Yeah,
they would not know what a Puerto Rican from the Bronx is, and they don't probably don't think that's compelling to them because that's what they don't know. That's what they know. They know the
exactly.
Mexicans they grew up among in California. They don't know the Puerto Ricans or the Dominicans from the Bronx or from Harlem or from Uptown or
Yeah,
even from Miami or you know what I mean or from Chicago. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And that's you know what I mean. Have you met a Puerto Rican from Chicago versus a Puerto Rican from New York? Different experiences, different backgrounds, different.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like the people that are in charge that are making decisions are just greenlighting what's familiar to them. You know what I mean? Instead
Exactly.
of going,
And you know
well,
what
no,
they
that's
say,
yeah,
familiarity breeds contempt. So
yeah, yeah,
sometimes when
exactly.
it becomes too familiar, you learn to you appreciate it, but then you secretly dislike it at the behind the
Yeah,
closed doors. You're like, damn, why did I fall into this trap? Why am I consistently doing this to myself? But dang, it's
100%.
familiar. It works. It generates something, but it's not what's authentic to me.
Right.
So we're gonna show everybody the trailer of
Yeah, play
um,
it.
playing Sam. So here we go. Let's see how this is going to work. I love this, by the way.
Thank you. Let's see it.
Here we go.
Some stage. Chino! I'm gonna give you some reading for the role of the housekeeper. Reading for the role of the rookie. A lot of auditions.
It's literally the worst.
It is.
It's literally an actor's nightmare.
Do you speak Spanish?
Me llamo Samantha, no hablo español.
My whole career is in the future right now. You're going to be in the past.
I, ladies and gentlemen, am the recent victim of a breakup. And I didn't even see it coming.
So you got a man?
Never mind, I'm single. I'm unavailable.
Yo, Aunt.
Not here.
Oh, you was good, right?
Nope, that is not your man. Bye.
To be a fuckboy and have charisma, I mean, that's kind of like a criterion.
Remember that audition that you helped me with? I got it.
She's more of an America Ferrera, and we're looking for more of a Sofia Vergara-like, you know?
Dorothy, your mic is on.
Oh boy, that in itself is very interesting.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you.
looking for Sofia Vergara, but she's oh my goodness.
But yeah, I mean that's the idea that this is how they speak because I work in the industry. This is how they speak about people
Um, oh my.
when on their auditioning. They speak about people like, oh yeah, this person gives me more, like this, I'm looking for somebody that's a this type or a that type, or we looking for that type. That's how they
Mhm.
speak and how they describe people.
And
They can't just say, you know, give us different versions of someone with anger issues. Show us different versions of it. It's always like, oh, who's someone that's kind of like Luis Guzman? Give us like a Luis Guzman or young Luis Guzman, or give me, a
John
younger
Leguizamo, and
or older
when he
John
did his one-man show called
Leguizamo.
Sexaholic, give me that. Give me
Yeah,
that
yeah,
manic, crazy energy. Shout out
right.
to
And
Johnny John
but
Leguizamo.
that's how they do that. That's how they describe us.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, what
oh,
you're
that's doing
describing
this.
sounds like, do you recall the movie Hollywood Shuffle by Robert Townsend, right?
Oh yeah, of course, of course. It's a classic
I
film.
caught myself watching it the other day. Actually, the other day was like
Yeah.
a few months ago. What's funny is that I want you to be more Murphy-esque. And you're just like, oh my God, poor Eddie Murphy. And
But
then
see, that's
also,
the thing.
uh-huh.
Go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
No, 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 no. I was gonna say also it kind of you know who also mentioned this was Marlon Wayans in his special that he did recently where he talked about Will and Jada. But what I mean is that he explained the rule in Hollywood is always one person of color, their time period, like their time to shine. Like Denzel Washington was for the 80s and a part of the 90s. Then
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, Will Smith took the mantle of, the likable, acceptable minority.
Right.
And for example, it's like each decade or each, 5 to 7 years, whatever, there's always that. So like when you mentioned Sofia Vergara and America Ferrera, that's
Mm-hmm.
like the paradigm that's allowed at the time.
Yeah. And I mean, that's also how I feel about Latino directors. Like, there's only like we only get like one at a time kind of thing where it's like, who's the Lin Manuel of Noran? Who's going to be the next Lin Manuel? Because we have Lin now, and he's doing everything for Hollywood, and we've checked that Latino box because we have Lin Manuel, so we're fine. Like, no,
Exactly.
man.
Or you have Alejandro Inarritu when he did Babel, and also when he did Amores Perros, and when he did
Right.
that. Then you have Guillermo del Toro. And it's just like it's not that they're not epic, directors in their own right, but there are so many other people
Yeah,
that are
there are.
going
There
under the
definitely are.
the radar because the lens does not want to be wide enough or opened enough,
Right. No, I
you
agree.
know?
I agree.
It's not like, "Okay, listen, I passed through, but FYI, aquí está la tía, la nana, aquí está la prima, el primo," and it's not like I'm gonna bring a whole train of people, like, "What do you think?" Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's really poignant, and I like the fact that there is a sense of frustration that she built, though it was a guy that she wasn't supposed to take seriously. But the fact that when he says, "Oh, I got that role," she's like, "Damn it! Like, you know how hard I've been working and how many auditions I've been going to, and you lucked out, even though it's not the
Yeah.
best part in the damn movie, but you lucked out anyway." Like, Concho, that burns. It's like, ah,
Yeah, it burns. It burns. I
it's
Were
like,
you
you
at
know
the
what?
screening?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I wasn't.
Oh man, I should send you the film so you can see it. Did you see the film?
No, I didn't get a chance to. The thing was, is the day I was supposed to go, I it's like a whole plethora of
It's okay.
issues. Like,
You should have told me before we met. I would have sent you the film so you could see it
ah,
on your own, and then you could have told me what you thought. 100%.
yeah. But
So
I'm basing it this like off the trailer because I'm just like, and see the way you cut the trailer makes it super like easy to infer a lot. Because there's,
hmm
like I struggle to do a trailer for any film that I've done. And it's just like, oh gosh, and it like writing the script is a struggle because because of my ADHD, I tend to write a little bit, get into a zone, write for days, and then lo dejo por ahí. And then I come back like 3 weeks later, like, oh damn, that was really good. Why did I abandon doing this? And then I get into that zone again.
I got you.
you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
and there's mhm,
I took a lot of for the trailer.
breaks.
I took a lot of the no. I took a lot of the things that I learned in television to make that trailer. Like, I literally took everything that I learned in the industry and I just applied it to my stuff. It took a lot. It took a lot, you know. So yeah.
And that's important, honestly. That really is.
Oh
And
yeah.
sometimes I'm
Don't.
sure you had so much footage to pilfer through, to like
Yeah.
go through, to be like, okay, what was like the juiciest parts and it'll be the most relatable to the audience. I'm sure you like
Yeah.
had to master that for sure.
And it's good to have someone to bounce ideas off of. So my editor, who helped me edit the film, he was the guy that I was showing the trailer to, and he was giving me notes. Like, I love notes. I love experience, collaborating, and getting feedback because I always know that something better is going to come from something that I'm already working on. So I love that
This
stuff.
is true. This is very
Yeah,
true. Um, how great was it to have it screen at the New York Latino Film Festival? Shout out to them.
yeah, yeah. It was
It,
great.
it,
I
it,
was.
it's a big crew, so shout out to everybody there.
Yeah. Well, this was my third film shown at
Hmm.
this festival. The first two were short films that I did. So they
Hmm.
were always supportive. And I remember that 2018, I was at the panel. They were doing a panel with Calixo and Dominic Colon. And I had asked a question about programming. And I said, hey, what's the one thing you don't see enough of when you get submissions? And they were like, New York Latino stories. So,
Hmm.
I knew that the next film, my first feature, I knew that it had to be a New York Latino film, but not something like I don't like making things that are like um that's been done over and over again. I feel like something like this
Hmm.
hasn't been done. Like I feel like New York Latino films, people are like, oh, it's got to be edgy. It's got to be about
Hmm.
a gang violence, or it's got to be about
Right.
selling drugs, or it's got to be
Oh yeah.
about it's got to be about just this family that's going through so many. Like, no, let me just make something about a Latino actress from the Bronx that wants to be seen for who she is. And I feel like we don't see that from our community, and I thought
No,
that'd be
it's
interesting,
true.
so the film, it takes a lot of, inspiration from a lot of things. From, I don't know if you ever saw Multifacial with Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, it's a short film that you can find
Hmm.
on YouTube called Multifacial, and it's about him trying to audition for roles and not getting the roles, or or like Hollywood Shuffle. You know what I mean? Just that, it takes a lot of beats from all these other small films that these filmmakers had to start from somewhere, you know what I mean? And they started independently. And that's where I
Right.
wanted to go. But I wanted to give it from the perspective of a Latina from the Bronx, the space where you would last find an actor looking to break out into the industry in the Bronx. Most of the time, you see actors trying to make an industry out in LA, So that was another thing that I felt that was different, you know?
That is an interesting take on it because it's just like
Yeah.
really. Also, how long is the film? It's like 80
Film
minutes.
is like
It's
87 minutes. Yeah.
not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
Not too
That's pretty.
long, very digestible.
No,
There's a
this is
beginning,
true.
there's
No,
a beginning,
especially now. Because now
yeah.
every film is 2 hours and 14 minutes, 2 hours and 21 minutes. It's an hour.